Hello, hello, hi, Facebook trooper. What's happening? What's going on? Oh, welcome. Happy Tuesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. If you're joining me live, let me know you are here. And as always, if you catch the replay, it would be nice to get your feedback. I kept T-Money up for a while. I'm not sure if that's him joining. T-Money, is that you? Throw me some love or hate or something. But I kept T-Money up for a while. Yep. What up? You're gonna like this life. But I say that about all my lives. But you like all my lives. So here we go. I digress. Master digress. But check this thing out. I got this thing. It's so cool. Okay. Just total digress. This is not related to the subject. But look at this thing. How cool is this thing? What is this, right? Let me tell you. Well, this is the book I'm reading right now. Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell. But check this out. So look at this thing, dude. What? Oh, how cool is that thing? And it's a mustache. You feel it? You see it? Super cool, right? Anyway. I digress. I thought that was super cool. Anyway, I got a notebook that I'm gonna surprise you guys for New Year's with. That's coming up. I got it right there. And let's get into the tonight. Yeah. I was waiting for some expressions, T-Money. So let's get into tonight's live. All right. Have you ever gone to a restaurant, probably before this whole COVID and Omni crap? Anyway, have you ever gone to a restaurant, you sit down, you're eating your food, and the food for the table next to you comes up and you're like, you can't help it. You like look over your glass and you keep like glancing and it looks good and you're like, oh my goodness, that looks really good. The next time I'm gonna order that. Have you ever done something like that? Throw me some love, hearts or something, comments. I know I have, I have done that many times. So it's like, it's always, is this a perfect example of the grass is greener on the other side? I was thinking about that when I was preparing for this live. I was thinking, is that a perfect example of the grass is greener on the other side? I think it is, right? Anyway, so the story goes like this, and we should totally stop doing that. Or I should totally stop doing that. I know it's kind of hard though, but they always look so good. Anyway, we should totally stop doing that for this major life reason or lesson. You know, I got a story for you. The dog is walking down the street and he's got a good piece of meat in his mouth. And dogs, if you know, dogs like to eat at home, right? So, and if it's a home dog, they actually like to eat at home. But so this dog has got this good piece of meat in his mouth, and he's walking down the street, if you would, and he's going home, right? Other people always going, no, that's fine. Illegal nachos, ooh. And he's walking down the street, and some guys are thinking, well, you know, the butcher up the street gave him the meat. Brad, B Money, my prayers are with you, bro. You know we're praying for you. That you use a lot less memes. I'm just kidding. So he's walking down this. Let me go back to this story. Dog is walking down the street. He's got a big piece of meat in his mouth and walking down the street. And some guys are thinking, well, you know, the butcher right above the street probably gave him the meat. Some others think that, well, maybe he stole the meat. Either way, the dog's got the meat, walking down the street to go home, and by the on his road, on his way home, there's a riverbed, and there's a bridge over it, right? Hey Claudia, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hopefully you catch the 2-3 minutes of the beginning of the live to get a kick out of it. But so yeah, so he's walking down the street, and it's a dog. It's got a meat down in his mouth, and he's walking down the street. He's crossing over this riverbed to go home, and he looks in the water, and all of a sudden he sees another dog that looks just like him in the water, looking right back at him. And coincidentally, that dog also has a big piece of meat in his mouth. So our dog is thinking to his head, well, what are the chances of that, right? On my way home, I get to meet this dog that looks exactly like me, and he's got a good piece of meat in his mouth. What if I were to take that meat from him? Then I would not only have one meal, but I would have 2 good meals. So he's going over this in his head, and he's all like, that's what I'm gonna do. And as soon as he opens his mouth to grab the meat from the other dog in the water, he notices, as he comes up, he notices that the meat is gone, because he had to open his mouth to grab the other meat. He notices that the meat is gone, and he looks right in the water immediately, and he notices that the other dog's meat is also gone. So not only he lost his meal, but he lost the chance of having 2 meals. The moral of the story: obviously, the dog saw his reflection in the water, right? And that piece of meat looked good to him. It's almost like the grass is always greener on the other side, right? It's almost like greed. I can tell you, I have been, T Money knows my story, B Money knows my story. I've been a victim of greed in a financial transaction, in a business deal, and I got the shorter end of the stick. Greed never plays well with success. It just doesn't work well. Now, there's a distinction between being greedy and wanting more. That's very different, and maybe I should do a live on that. That's very different. But greed is got a zing to it, right? It's almost got it's almost like you got to cross over people to get that. It's like you got to push and shove and steal and cheat and lie to get that. That's greed, right? So it never works well with anything. Success, relationship, work, nothing, right? So for the dog to look at his reflection in the water and see another dog looking right at him, just like him, with another piece of meat in his mouth, just like him, not thinking that, hey, forget about the reflection, not thinking that, hey, that's another dog, just like me, he's hungry, just like me, he's got his meal, just like me, why don't we enjoy the meal together instead of me thinking and being greedy and going after his meal as well. You feel that? How many times in our daily lives, how many times do you feel like greed hits you and you don't even think about it? Tell you what. You're sitting down with a friend, you're having some food, you're sharing fries, and you're greedy. You're eating more fries than your friend is. That's greedy. You know, you take advantage of a friend. Wealth is not in making money, but in making the man while he's making money. It's the man you become. It's the process of that development of becoming into, right? And you becoming into is getting rid of a few things, and one of them is greed. You know, there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but wanting more usually translates into helping more people. See, that's not greed. Hurting more people in order to gain, that's greed, right? So you got a meat in your mouth. You see your friend with another meat in his mouth. You're not thinking, well, let's grab the nearest table together and have a meal together. That's not what you're thinking. You're thinking, how and when can I grab that piece of meat as well? My friend, that's greed. That ain't gonna play well for too long. It just won't. That's greed. That's thinking, forget about the other person going hungry, but let me just get 2 meals. You see that? When you're taking advantage of other people when you don't really need to, that's greed. That's wrong. That's not a good principle to follow. It isn't, I promise you. In anything, it just doesn't translate well. It's not a good principle to follow. Like Jim Rohn said, don't sign up for that class. Don't sign up for that class, for the greed class. That's not a class you want to take. Listen to me. Be glad. I would recommend switching the mindset, right? Switching your mentality. And I'm going to come with a punch. Ready for this? Throw me some hearts. And you guys are still awake? Who's here? Throw me some hearts. It comes with a punch. You ready? You're walking down the street. You got a meat in your mouth. You see a friend walking down the street. He's got a meat in his mouth. I suggest, I recommend that you immediately think, how can I get more meat in more of my friends' mouths? You see that mindset? That's really different than saying, how can I get that meat for me? Folks, I don't know what you believe in. God, Lord, the universe, the grass, dirt. I don't care what you believe in, okay? This is an abundant universe. I don't care what you believe in. If you believe in dirt, there's plenty of dirt for everyone. If you believe in grass, there's plenty of grass, like for everyone. Seriously. Right? Renaissance. Am I going deep, money? Am I going deep dirt? I'm just saying, right? Look, this is an abundant world. This world was created based on abundance. There's plenty of everything to go around. Greed is man-made. We made it because we want more. But not because we want more, here comes, you ready? But because we want less for the other person. That's greed. And that's not how this world is. It's an abundant world. Look around you. Right? That's greed. Thought of the day. You're walking down the street, you got meat in your mouth, you see your friend, he's got a meat in his mouth, invite him to lunch, have the meat together, and think of how you can put more meat in more friends' mouths so that lunch gets bigger. Hopefully you got some love out of this live. Maybe I went a little deep. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, got some love, and got some inspiration, some value from it. And enough to say, you know what, this was good. I'm gonna share it. Share it on your wall, tag a couple people, do what you gotta do. You know how to spread the love. Sharing is caring, you know what I mean? And I wanna know what you guys think. Good live, bad live, how do you connect with these? I mean, I love the feedbacks you guys send me to chats. I really wish some of you would not be as shy and drop your comments here because it would really help the feed. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Team Money for staying up, for being like 2 o'clock in the morning where he is. I appreciate you, bro. And like always, I want to know your feedback. Let me know what you think about this live, especially this topic and greed. And until tomorrow, where we do it all over again. Much love.